You've been called too quiet, too cold, too slow to respond, and you've probably apologized for it your whole life. Maybe someone insulted you and you didn't have a comeback ready. Maybe you stayed silent in a group conversation and someone asked, "Are you okay?" when you were literally fine, just listening. Maybe you've been accused of shutting down when really you were just thinking. And everyone acts like this is a problem you need to fix. But what if I told you that the thing they call your biggest weakness is actually the reason you're 10 steps ahead of them? Today, I'm going to show you why your natural non-reactivity isn't something to apologize for. It's your secret weapon. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use it. Here's what nobody tells you. You've been judged your entire life by extrovert rules. You know that feeling when you're in a group and everyone's talking over each other and you're just quiet? And someone inevitably goes, "Why are you so quiet?" Like your silence is a problem that needs solving. Or when someone provokes you and you don't immediately react, and they assume you're either weak, scared, or being passive-aggressive. Or when you take a few seconds to think before responding and people act like you're broken. Like the fact that you don't have instant verbal diarrhea means something's wrong with you. Here's the truth. Society is built for people who think out loud, people who react fast, people who fill every silence because silence makes them uncomfortable. And for your entire life, you've been told that your natural response style, the pause, the observation, the quiet, is something you need to overcome. 9 out of 10 people say they feel pressured to act more extroverted than they actually are. Introverts are constantly passed over for leadership positions, not because they're less capable, but because they don't perform confidence the way people expect. If you've ever been told, "You need to speak up more," in a performance review, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The game is rigged, and you've been made to feel like you're losing, when really, you're just playing a completely different game. But here's what's actually happening while everyone's judging your silence. You're doing something they literally can't do. And it's not a weakness, it's strategic. Let me show you what's really going on. When someone says something that triggers an emotional response, an insult, a provocation, whatever, most people's brains go straight to reaction mode. It's automatic, it's fast, and it's almost always something they regret 5 minutes later. But your brain? Your brain has a pause button. Before you react, there's this moment where your brain actually stops and asks, "Wait, is this worth my energy? What's actually happening here? What's the smart move?" And people call that overthinking. But it's not overthinking, it's just thinking. While everyone else is on autopilot, you're actually steering. That's why you seem slow to respond, not because you can't think of what to say, but because you're running a cost-benefit analysis while they're just reacting. There's another reason social interaction drains you. Your brain doesn't get the same reward from it that extroverts do. For them, talking and interacting gives them energy. For you, it costs energy. Every conversation is a withdrawal from your battery, which means when you choose not to react, you're not being passive. You're being strategic about where you spend your limited resources. And when you do speak up, it actually means something, because people know you don't waste words. You want to know how powerful non-reactivity can be? December 1st, 1955. Rosa Parks is sitting on a bus. A driver tells her to give up her seat. Everyone's watching. The pressure is enormous. One word, one reaction, one moment of anger or fear could have changed everything. And she didn't yell. She didn't argue. She didn't react emotionally at all. She just stayed calm and said one word: no. Rosa Parks was a self-described introvert, and civil rights leaders chose her specifically because of what they called her quiet strength. Not loud strength, not aggressive strength, quiet strength. That moment of non-reactivity changed history. I'm not saying you're going to change history by not reacting to your coworker's passive-aggressive email, but I am saying your calm is more powerful than you've been taught to believe. Now let me show you how to use it. Number 1, the 3-second power move. Next time someone says something that pisses you off, whether it's an insult, a criticism, or just something you completely disagree with, Try this. Don't respond immediately. Just pause, count to 3 in your head, and watch what happens. They start to panic because they expected you to react. They were ready for defensiveness, anger, and argument, and you gave them nothing. Just calm, just silence. That 3 seconds, that's you taking control of the situation before you even open your mouth. By the time you do respond, you're not reacting, you're choosing. And there's a massive difference between those two things. People mistake your pause for weakness, but really, you're just refusing to play their game. Number 2, let them fill the silence. Here's something you've probably noticed. When you don't respond right away, people get uncomfortable. And when people get uncomfortable, they start talking more. And the more they talk, the more they reveal. You know that feeling when someone's trying to manipulate you or sell you something, and you just don't react? And they keep talking, and suddenly they're contradicting themselves or admitting things they didn't mean to. That's not an accident. That's your silence doing the work for you. You don't have to fill every pause. You don't have to make other people comfortable. Your quietness isn't a social failure, it's information gathering. And while they're busy performing, you're learning exactly who they are. Yeah, that's not an accident. That's your silence doing the work for you. You don't have to fill every pause. You don't have to make other people comfortable. Your quietness isn't a social failure, it's information gathering. And while they're busy performing, you're learning exactly who they are. Number 3, the observation advantage. While everyone else is talking, reacting, trying to be heard, you're watching. And you notice everything. You see who's actually in charge in the room. You notice when someone's lying. You pick up on the tension nobody's talking about. You understand the subtext of what's really happening while everyone else is just focused on what's being said out loud. This is especially powerful in group settings. While everyone's fighting to talk, you're seeing the whole picture. And when you finally do say something, it cuts right to the heart of what's actually going on, because you saw what everyone else was too distracted to notice. Your silence isn't you being left out. It's you being 10 steps ahead. Number 4, choose your battles. Here's something extroverts don't understand. You have a limited battery. Every interaction costs you energy, which means you can't afford to react to everything. So ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Not every argument deserves your engagement. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every drama requires your participation. When you choose not to react, you're not being weak, you're being selective. You're saving your energy for things that actually matter. And here's what happens. When you do finally speak up, people listen, because they know you don't waste words. You don't react to every little thing. So when you do, it means something. Extroverts can afford to have an opinion about everything because talking energizes them. You can't. So be strategic. And when you engage, make it count. Number 5, the delayed response. Someone says something that bothers you. Maybe it's in a text, an email, a meeting. Everyone expects an immediate response. But you don't give them one. Not because you don't know what to say, but because you're doing something more powerful. You're thinking about it. And when you finally respond, maybe hours later, maybe the next day, your reply is clear, thought through, and impossible to argue with. While they were looking for instant gratification, you were building an airtight case. You don't win arguments in the heat of the moment when emotions are high. You win them later, when you've had time to see the situation clearly. That's your advantage. And honestly, there's something deeply satisfying about responding 3 days later with the perfect message that makes them realize they messed up. Number 6, the unreadable face. Your neutral expression drives certain people absolutely crazy. And that's actually the point. When you don't react emotionally to provocations, it creates uncertainty. People can't figure you out. They don't know if you're unbothered, if you're silently judging them, or if you're about to completely destroy their argument with pure logic. This is especially powerful against manipulative people, because emotional manipulation only works if they can see your emotional reaction. When they push your buttons and nothing happens, when they try to provoke you and you just stay calm, when you don't react emotionally to provocations, it creates uncertainty. People can't figure you out. They don't know if you're unbothered, if you're silently judging them, or if you're about to completely destroy their argument with pure logic. This is especially powerful against manipulative people, because emotional manipulation only works if they can see your emotional reaction. When they push your buttons and nothing happens, when they try to provoke you and you just stay calm, it breaks their strategy. Your poker face is armor, and they can't manipulate what they can't read. Number 7, channel it into something. You don't have to scream or fight to release emotions. You have a better option: creation. That anger? Write about it. That frustration? Turn it into art, a project, something productive. Your best work often comes from processed emotion, not raw reaction. While extroverts release emotions through confrontation and venting, you can transform your feelings into something that actually lasts. Your non-reaction in the moment becomes your masterpiece later. And honestly, that's a much better use of your time than getting into an argument you'll forget about in a week. Number 8, know when to walk away. Even with all your natural emotional control, there's a breaking point, and you need to recognize it. For introverts, it usually shows up after prolonged social exposure, repeated provocations, or when your battery is just completely drained. The warning signs. You stop thinking before you speak. Your responses get sharp. You suddenly want to disappear for 3 days. You're not processing anymore. You're just reacting. When that happens, the most powerful thing you can do is remove yourself. Not because you're running away, but because you're no longer in control, and you can't win from that position. Give yourself permission to exit. Recharge. Then come back when you're operating from strength again. There's no shame in walking away. Sometimes that is the power move. Okay, here's the part I really need you to hear. There's a difference between choosing not to react and pretending you don't feel anything at all. Strategic silence means you're thinking, I'm not going to engage with this right now because it's not worth my energy, but I'll process this later. You're aware of the emotion, you acknowledge it. You deal with it in your own way, through journaling, talking to one trusted person, channeling it into something productive. Suppression means you're pretending the emotion doesn't exist. You're stuffing it down, ignoring it, telling yourself you're fine when you're not. And that's when non-reactivity becomes dangerous. If you've gone weeks without expressing a difficult emotion to anyone, not even yourself, that's not strategic. That's suppression. If you're feeling numb even to good things, if your body is showing stress symptoms you can't explain, those are warning signs. Your power is in choosing when to react, not in never reacting at all. There are times when you absolutely need to speak up. When someone crosses a boundary. When something truly matters to you. When staying silent would mean letting someone hurt you or someone you care about. Strategic silence is about choice. Suppression is about avoidance, and you need to know the difference. And yeah, this isn't about introverts being better than extroverts. Both personality types have real strengths. But society acts like only one style is valid, and that needs to change. Your non-reactivity isn't a flaw. It's not something broken that needs fixing. It's not a weakness you need to overcome. It's strategic, it's powerful, and it's exactly what makes you effective in ways other people aren't. Take care of your energy out there,